I think the period that we're going through right now is most analogous to the 1930 to 1945 period in many, many, many ways.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Impeccable Investor. Raymond Thomas Dalio is an American billionaire hedge fund manager and philanthropist. He has published 4 different pieces on the workings of the economy and how to deal with the inevitable changes in the business cycle. He often commits himself to interviews that help the common people better understand what to do in certain economic conditions, and his latest one explained the condition of the world during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's dive into it to learn more. End of the debt cycle. The most important thing that is happening in this world right now is that we are at the end of a long-term debt cycle, similar to the ones in 1932 and 2008, in which central banks cannot control the monetary policy the way they used to. They cannot lower interest rates or give money to people in need. What usually happens in such a situation is that interest rates fall down to almost zero. To deal with this, the central bank prints money and buys financial assets. The government faced the same situation during the Great Depression of 1932 to 1945 and the recession in 2008 and had to take the same way out. Usually, the central bank can stimulate the economy by lowering interest rates, but once they hit zero interest rates, that trick fails to work. So now the government has no choice but to print more money and buy government bonds. Stimulus checks. In this condition of the economy, a lot of people need unemployment benefits and companies need investment to stay afloat. The government agrees to provide financial support. They have 2 options to get the money from. Either they can tax the citizens, which is bad considering that the whole reason this is happening is because of lack of money, or the government can take a loan. When everyone around the world is in a financial pickle, there are not a lot of lenders out there who can help the government. So the Federal Reserve, which has the power to print money, steps in and acts as a borrower and a lender to the government. The government borrows the money from the Federal Reserve and uses it to help out individuals and businesses in need that would otherwise go bankrupt, which would cause a whole new problem: value of money. In the modern world, printing money no longer has the same meaning it used to. The only thing the Federal Reserve has to do is change a few digits and it can change the amount of currency going about in the economy at a certain moment. With this, you wonder that if money can be created this easily, then what does it say about the value of it? Which is one of the major problems we are facing today. As an example, money losing its value due to there being too much of it, which is what causes inflation levels to rise. Large wealth gap. When you have a large wealth gap between the rich and the poor, like the one we see in predominantly capitalist economies, people are more likely to have conflicts. The only thing that can help in this situation is to reconsider how that wealth is divided, which means that the government will need to change its taxing policies and reduce income inequality. The United States is no longer the leader of the world order. A large economic power in the name of China presents itself as a competition to the United States in the New World Order. This, along with the end of the debt cycle and the income inequality posed as a threat to the economic stability in the world. On top of this, the world had to deal with the virus, which certainly slowed everything down, but even if it was not in the picture, the economy was already on a downward path, and all the coronavirus did was accelerate it. What can we do? The way to create the most financial security for a business or a household is the same thing if broken down to its basics. The first thing to do is look at your income and expenditures and do a stress test to figure out how long you can live an honorable lifestyle if you were to lose your sources of income. It is important for you to know how long you can go on if you can tone down your way of life so you can continue longer. Our survival comes down to our income, expenses, and savings. We need to do everything in our power to increase our income, whether that is by working more hours or acquiring more skills. Expenses need to be reduced as much as possible. If you can save a penny by making a small change in your lifestyle, such as brewing your own coffee, you should do it. Lastly, savings. Ray always recommends gold as a form of saving. Gold is always a safe bet and increases in value as economic conditions get worse. Another option is bonds. Government bonds are always risk-free. Ray also suggests diversifying your investments throughout the country to spread your risks. The last thing you can focus your savings on is commodities. These are items such as grains and electricity that are essential items and will never go out of demand, which makes them the safest option to invest in. This brings us to the end of our video, and we really hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.